What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Trev, and I'm outside. I'm doing my morning, well, not necessarily my morning, my afternoon walk. I'm walking in nature, I'm getting my sunlight in. I'm just leaving the house basically. But that's not the point of this video. I just wanted to make this video really quickly because this is stuck in my head. Like, I'm outside walking, clearing my mind, getting some sunlight, listening to my podcasts and stuff like that. And, I keep hearing about Kyrie Irving. And if you guys don't know Kyrie, which you should by now, he's a basketball player, very famous, very spiritual kind of guy. He's a very good role model to a lot of young men. He's just a good dude. And he's a role model of mine personally because he's from New Jersey like me. And, I've actually seen him play a couple times. He played my cousin in a basketball tournament back in high school and stuff like that. And, I haven't met him before, but I've seen him play several times. And he's just a good dude. I've been watching him since I think he was 18 or whatever. And since he was in Duke and when I was a freshman in high school, like, I've been watching Kyrie for a while. So, like, I heard about the trade and I heard about everything like that and people throwing stones his way in the media and everything like that. And it's got me thinking, like, how people love to assassinate someone's character without necessarily knowing them. And, I played sports myself. And, Kyrie, some of the stuff he does, it could be misinterpreted as him being a bad teammate or someone who doesn't care about basketball. But that might not necessarily be true because he's just being authentic to himself. And a lot of people don't understand that because they don't necessarily get where he's coming from and they don't get what he's learned and acknowledged in life. Because he's a really authentic person. If you ever meet him or you hear him speak in interviews or anything like that, you can get the authenticity off of his vibe. Because, like, I was listening to the I Am the Athlete podcast, one of my favorite podcasts, and then when you hear Kyrie talk about his ancestors and some of the trials and tribulations he's gone through, he's a really relatable and likable kind of guy. And it's like, I don't like how people in the media tend to challenge him on every single thing he does. Like, he's not like a human, like he's not flawed. And it's just like, it's frustrating to see because he's really authentic. And I think a lot of us can learn from Kyrie instead of bringing him down all the time. Not necessarily with the basketball stuff, but learn from who he is as a person and what he stands for and how he always seems to do righteous things as a person. Because, a lot of people don't talk about how he donates to schools, how he gives back to charities, how he always is inspiring the youth and giving, like, his sneakers for a low, affordable price. Nobody ever talks about that authentic stuff he does to help the community, but they always seem to bash him for his views or not necessarily being the best teammate or sitting out because of, the thing that's going on now. But I like Kyrie. He's an authentic guy, and I feel like we can learn from him because, a lot of people aren't authentic and they're too afraid to be themselves because of judgment and everything. And it's like, that's a bad way to go because when you try to please others all the time, you kill yourself slowly because you're not being true to yourself. You're not being authentic. And, Kyrie's always authentic, and I pride myself on being an authentic guy too because it's like, no matter what, I'm going to be me. I'm going to say what I want to say. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to stand up for myself, and I'm just going to be a free thinker because that's just who I am. And, when you see a lot of people bashing him, especially black people bashing him because they don't understand him, like we don't understand a lot of things and we don't research anything, then you start to see, like, wow, the whole narrative on him has changed because a lot of people bash him without understanding where he's coming from. Granted, he could do things a little bit better, but he's human. He's learning. And, a lot of us are learning as well. But, he is authentic. He is coming from a genuine place, and people got to understand that, And there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that we don't even know. And trust me, I work in a business, so I know the ins and outs of things too. And we can't necessarily speak on certain things, but, certain things are going on in the public. And a lot of people just sit there and they act like they know everything when they're not even close to the source or in the know-how. But, he's a good dude. And, I just feel like a lot of people need to learn how to be authentic with themselves because it's like this guy, he's speaking out for you. He's standing up for you. He's standing up for a lot of basketball players and people who stand for stuff. And a lot of people are just ignoring him. And granted, I am a Boston Celtics fan and I'm a little bit biased about his on-the-court behavior. But, he, as a person, I respect the hell out of him because he's just a decent dude. He just stands up for what he believes in, and he clearly knows things that we don't know, and he's seen things that we don't understand necessarily yet because we're not on his surface level of knowledge. But we can all learn from him, and we can learn from other people how to be authentic, and we should just strive to do that because you never know. And then when it's all our time for judgment, what are you going to say when it's time for all of us to be judged? Are we going to act like we're holier than thou? Are we going to be act like we're better than everybody? Or are we going to be our true selves and what we stand for? And, you know, I feel like Kyrie represents that a lot because he just always stands up for what he believes in, even though he gives him not necessarily the best reputation. He's just a stand-up dude, and a lot of people should learn from him in certain ways. And, you know, we shouldn't just bash this dude because we don't understand him, because all geniuses are misunderstood. Like, a lot of geniuses are misunderstood, and I'm not necessarily calling him a genius or putting him on a pedestal, but a lot of people are misunderstood, and then their greatness is only appreciated later after the fact. But, you know, a lot of people should learn from Kyrie. You know, I learned from Kyrie too, because he's like, I'm not necessarily like a nature guy, but I've taken some of his principles when it comes to nature and getting outside and knowing myself more than anybody else. I've taken some of those principles into my life, and you guys could do that too. And, you know, I've just seen great strides, great development, and, you know, I feel like a lot of people can do that. And it's a great way to live, because honestly, a lot of people live for the moment, they live for the party, but there's not much substance behind them. There's not much anything behind them. And then, heck, I've been with a lot of girls, and then if you guys know what this is, it's called the 1,000 cocks stare. It's when a bitch looks at you and she's like fucked a lot of guys, and she has that look in her eyes like she's been with hella dudes and she's untrustworthy. And, you know, I've seen a lot of people like that, or women like that, and it's just like you see that a lot in society. Like, people have been through things, but they're not healing their traumas. They're not growing. They're just complaining. They're blaming everything. They're blaming everyone instead of facing themselves. And I feel like when we face ourselves, that's the bravest challenge. And, you know, that's the mark of an authentic person, because even I struggle with things. He struggles with things. Everybody struggles with things. But how we face these challenges and how we overcome them defines who we are. And that's just the message I wanted to say. You know, I'm getting my morning, well, not my morning, my afternoon. I don't even know what time it is because I'm just enjoying myself so much. I'm just getting that out here, getting that message to you guys. You know, like, comment, subscribe. It's a beautiful day outside. You know, touch grass. And, you know, just enjoy yourselves. You know, be authentic to yourselves. And don't forget who you are. Don't forget where you came from. And just become a better person. And stop bashing people in the media. You don't know these fucking people. Stop bashing. And they don't care either. They don't care. Because we're all in a different part of life. We can have empathy for each other, but we can never truly understand each other until we know each other. But yeah, that's just my thoughts for Monday. You know, I hope the Kyrie situation gets better. I hope he finds a level of peace. I hope the media finds a level of peace. And I just hope a lot of people become authentic to themselves like I am and like he is. And then we could just all go from there. Because we could become better as a society when we focus on things that are more important. That's just how I feel about things. But, you know, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me guys what you guys think about everything going on. And you guys just have a good Monday. And, you know, take care of yourselves.